Alright, so let's talk about some of this music that you have out. Alright, I'm a little confused with your music, so it's great that I met you so you could clear a lot of things up, because as a listener, I listen to a lot of things intently. There's one song that you have where the message to me gets lost in the delivery. And it was the song where you had the Aladdin sample. Okay, I love that. I love what that song is about. But when you rhyme, your lyrics are on top of the beat. It's like you're so wordy at times that the message gets lost because I'm playing catch up. What is your flow and what is the purpose of your style and delivery?
My flow, honestly, I could describe it as kind of on edge but a little off. At first, when I first started, I'll be honest with you, because when I recorded that mixtape, I was just starting, like just getting my chops off, just like, alright, like I'ma show it, you know, this and that. But then now I feel like on unreleased material, I could even show you guys after this interview, like it's just, now it's more consistent. It's cadence. It's all these things I've learned in school that apply to my flow now. And it's all about just trying to improve my flow, but I could describe my flow as that.
You know what's deep? You said what happens with every MC when they first start. Either they call themselves corny when they first start, that's what they are.
Yeah.
But they say they were either too wordy or they sounded like somebody else.
Yeah.
Now Rakim said when he first started, he patterned his flow and his vocals after a horn, because his parents were jazz musicians.
Yeah.
So that's why he rocks slow, because the tempo of the jazz is mellow, and that's why he had a mellow voice.
Yeah.
Nas said when he first started, he read books, so he was very knowledgeable and wanted to use words that people didn't know in the hood so that they would remember him, because he's using words that people don't know. Like King Asiatic rhyme flow, you know, Big Daddy Kane said that, but then he'll say it with talking about being high and stuff. So he talked about other things that were like incredible to the average mind at the time. Eminem said he became great by taking words out of his rhymes. He said it's the lyrics that you don't say that make the song more powerful.
I've heard that too. I have.
As you develop your sound and you talk about your transition from rookie to vet, what did you see that you had to take out of songs to make your songs more impactful?
I discovered, actually, to be honest with you, it wasn't about even taking things out. It was kind of like adding certain things or trying to improve on certain things. So like on my debut album that's about to release, or even unreleased material, I've noticed that kind of like similar to what I've noticed with Nas, how his lyrics, he'll have advanced vocabulary, like I'll be like, yo, what does this word mean, and this and that. He'll stick out to me, so I'm just like, okay, like things I've noticed where I try to do in my lyrics, I try and make sure that I say things that stand out or it just sticks out, and I sound so fluent, and I sound so ahead of these guys. I want to make sure that I'm just that lyricist, like I want to be as advanced as possible.
I hear that in your acapellas too.
Really?
Because in your acapellas, you have 2 acapellas on SoundCloud. And one of the acapellas, I don't know the names offhand, I'm sorry, I gotta get my phone and I don't want to break up the interview. One of the acapellas that you have, your flow and delivery is A-B. Yeah, bump, 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 bump. Oh, that's A-B, it's tempo. Then you go bump, 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 and then you go back. So when I listen to your flow, I listen to the words that you're saying. I listen to your message. That's how I know you are lyrical.
Thank you.
But then I listen to cadence and style. In one of your tracks, you gave a shout out to Kanye to talk about how Kanye influenced you. Am I correct? I hear that in your music. How did Kanye influence you, and how did you find your voice apart from the Kanye influence?
Kanye influenced me. Well, one, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all if it wasn't for him, because it was an interview he did with Zane Lowe that inspired me to actually pursue music again. And then after that, he influenced me in his production, just a little bit of production. And lyrically, he always was pure with his messages. But if you notice, like, he wasn't the most lyrical guy. Like, even though people hold him up there in their top 5, top 10, or whatever. I know, like, you know, you shaking your head, you know, behind the camera, whatever. But some people I know actually do. But I'm just like, I think now when I look at him,
from a different era.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I look at him now, honestly, like, he's just a producer. To me now, he's like a Dr. Dre to me, where like he's just making
it's
beats.
ghostwriters.
Yeah, so it's like I can't really look at him like that anymore. But like, he influenced me with that, and especially in my own sound, from his element, I love the Chipmunk Soul era. If it's College Dropout to Late Registration to Graduation, then he stopped it. That's my favorite part of production, just chopping up samples, flipping them my own way, or even with my producers, shout out to Grant, O2, Paul, like just working with them and flipping it and making that pitch, all that. That's what I really take from Kanye.
So you're from the RZA school of hip hop, because the RZA is his god when it comes to that.
RZA is one of the originators of
RZA,
that.
Just Blaze, and Kanye.
Yeah.
And I hear it in your music because y'all chopped up a Diana Ross sample. It kind of made it flow. And you also have a Marvin Gaye sample in there.
Yeah.
So yes, y'all, I know music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got that, and I'm like, yo, this young man knows something about soul. Mm-hmm. So as an MC, let me ask you this question. This is one of the questions I really wanted to ask you. You seem to write from your heart rather than from your mind.
Yeah.
So as a writer who's very eloquent and has a lot to say, what are you grabbing for? The hearts of your listeners or the minds of your listeners, and why?
I want the heart because honestly I feel you could think from your mind, but sometimes your mind can play tricks, or you can't really be as honest. With your heart, it's always 100%. Every time it's going to be genuine. So when I'm writing from here, I'm always giving out my emotions, my thoughts, how I've been feeling, what's been going on in my world. And I'm giving you the best of what I can tell you is through my personal experience of what I've been going through.
The thing about the heart is spiritually, even the scriptures tell you that your feelings can mislead you. Mm-hmm. And being true, even in hip hop, is about sometimes letting your feelings go and get bearing your soul.
Right.
The greatest thing an MC can ever do is give emotional depth, because that is where the heart of the music comes from. Emotionally, what do you feel is your responsibility as a creator of music rather than a person who speaks over a beat?
I feel my duty and my responsibility is kind of just, I want people to be able to relate. That's one. And two, I always want to be able to provide comfort. Not just be that guy just talking or whatever, but I actually want to be able to relate to my fans and my listeners and be able to provide something for them so they could go back to my material and in their time of need or time of distress or whatever, they could listen to me and feel a kind of some sort of joy or feel a little bit better when they're listening to Spencer Smith.